Thursday, October 23rd, Bitcoin at 110,600, MSTR trading at 284. Wanted to open this video by showing Cheddarflow on Twitter reporting that they're loading up on millions of dollars worth of out of the money MSTR calls, which is unusual order flow for MSTR options, something to make note of. Doesn't mean that they'll be correct. There's also been some interesting call buying on the company Circle for very short dated expiration, like 200% out of the money call options. Doesn't mean that they necessarily know something, but with crypto, they sometimes do. So just interesting, worth noting there. I'll link to everything I share in the description. All right, I want to talk MSTR first, and I want to go through an exercise with you guys. The first thing I kind of want to do is, well, just show you how this company has really expanded over the years and in terms of the trajectory of the price action and kind of the story that it tells for MSTR. So I wanted to kind of go through this exercise. I've done it before, but I think it's worth maybe doing again. So you could argue, let me make this visible, that maybe that channel going back to 2011 in that peak, and that peak ultimately was followed by a sell-off of 38% in just a few weeks, but that did a pretty good job containing MSTR's expansion when it really woke up in 2020 to 2021. Although you honestly would be better off arguing that really the price action for MSTR prior to being the first Bitcoin treasury company looked more like this white channel right here behind me, and then ultimately expanded into what you see, the channel that I had just drawn a second ago. All right, so I'm going to leave those channels kind of grayed out. Now let's find the next kind of expansion of MSTR. I believe it would be safe to say that it was the 2021 top connected to the 2024 first top, and it looked something like that. So what we're seeing is the angles of expansion and the market capitalization of this company are growing. The story that the price action of MSTR stock is telling is changing and evolving after becoming the first Bitcoin treasury company, and it's becoming a more aggressive expansion. It's telling a story here. So now let's hide this channel and let's find the next one. I believe the next one, it would be safe to say, is how I typically draw the channel that I usually make my green channel on the charts. And that is the last like 5.5, going on almost 6 years of price action for MSTR. And the one thing about this channel and how it's drawn is, and I imagine this will be true into the future, is you typically do get some interactions, some reliable interactions around the 50% line. You see it there, you see it there. And I imagine in the future, we'll see it again. The 50% line of these channels, the bottoms and the tops, tend to tell a story. There tends to be a confluence of price action around those levels, in my personal opinion. By the way, I'm not a financial advisor. It's not financial advice. I own MSTR, I own Bitcoin, I own other Bitcoin adjacent equities. So what does the future, more aggressive expansion channel look like for MSTR? Well, I don't think anybody would disagree with me if I connect the Q1 2024 top with the Q4 2024 top, and then let's assume that the bottom could be in this week. Well, it would look something like that. Does that look that bad to you? I'm seeing some, well, I don't think anybody would disagree with the left side, right? That we connect those two tops. So we've got the expansion angle. And now the only question is, where is the right side of this channel going to be? Unless you think MSTR is dead and Bitcoin's dead, in which case, why are you watching these videos? Just let me know in the comments, I guess. So the 50% of the channel would be our next indicator of when we might be bottoming on the right side of the channel, because it's ultimately got to ride this channel and the expansion angle upwards for the next leg higher for MSTR. And we know MSTR moves similar to Bitcoin with these really aggressive expansions and then a lot of consolidation, a lot of chop. Nothing new, right? You're seeing it here with this kind of J structure and then a bigger J structure. And then what do you know if we're just in another big J structure? Would that surprise anybody? Probably not. And it's all supported by the technicals. So the real debate is, did we bottom this week? And if it's not this week, you could just extend this out to the right. But what I'm really looking at is, for clues, again, the 50% line, because we basically have everything lined up on the left side very confidently. So, and look at, I mean, even this previous channel here, like look at how nicely price interacts with the 50% line. Like you can go back and check this, guys, or go into TradingView and just have some fun, play around. I like to show you guys, I'm not just saying, oh, the bottom's in. Like it's hard to bet against the trend, and it's illogical to be taking aggressive bets against the trend. But if you want a dollar cost average at lower prices because you have long-term conviction, that is usually, and it's not financial advice, but it's usually a good approach to investing. I don't care what you do with your money though. Like I said, I do these videos for myself, and I found this really interesting because if this was the bottom this week, would anybody argue that that actually paints a pretty good picture? I wanted to also share that I've tried to call the bottom in the past using this same approach where you could argue like there were times where it made a lot of sense, again, using the same logic, that it could have been the bottom. They faked this out a few times, like right here at 400 would have made sense. You could also adjust this out to maybe right here and say that that also could have made sense, that we could have bottomed right there around 327. And you could even see that it, if I'm kind of zoomed in here, but price kept trying to recover that channel and failing and ultimately selling off further. And again, I'm just saying like, my brain is just fine working backwards and saying, okay, if this theoretically was the bottom, were there clues? Yes, there were. This all in my mind does make sense. And then let's match it up against. And I mentioned that this to me gave us more clues than anything. This more recent breakthrough that I had where I did the pairings of the green support channels with the white decline channels. And this to me tells me why currently this makes way more sense as the bottom than the previous one that I just showed you a second ago, like this, because it didn't make sense on this chart given what we knew about the white declining parallel channels and how they've interacted with previous price history. So what I want to actually do is move this channel over and put it all together on one chart. So I'll make this incline channel red because that's usually how I do my most aggressive expansion angles. So you've got the white declining channel right there. And then let's get our green channel here for the support right there. And I know this is a lot going on, guys. And I can delete maybe the gray channels in the background to help clear this up. But this actually makes a whole lot of sense theoretically if it works out this way. And just to really quickly recap, because I've been talking about this in my previous two videos, if we go back in time, this was my most recent kind of breakthrough staring at the MSTR charts. People said 100 hours wasn't accurate. They said I've been doing it for hundreds, people in my community. That switch this to daily. Okay, the daily chart tells that story better from 2020 to 2021. The green channel provides support. Every euphoric blow-off tends to manifest from the bottom of the green channel. So you can see here, bottom of the channel, and then boom, takes off. Okay, and then when you break out of the right side of the channel, there's also pretty much always a pump, even if it's a fake out and ultimately it sells off into a bear market. So I'm just showing you this for, so you know what to expect in the future. Let me delete this. 2024, you had the white channel here. All right, same thing. It takes off from the bottom of the green support channel. It gets out of the right side of the white channel and rips 4x, or it wasn't 4x if you actually bought the white channel breakout. I think it was like a 3x from there. Then you had the second breakout in 2024 right here. You have the left side of the channel. It's all this. Every white decline channel is the exact same angle, by the way. I'm not changing that at all. You don't need to. The green support channels do change though. The second breakout in 2024, it did not take place from the bottom of this green channel that you see right here, which is why I have a separate chart that I call MSTR 2025. Now it has a different angle on the green support channel. Let me show you these side by side. So I copy pasted it. This is the 2025 support channel, more aggressive incline versus the 2024 back here. And I want to also share that in my previous videos, I had the top of it up here. And I said, why are we floating in the middle of this channel? I don't like that. That doesn't make sense to me. But because there's some people doing lazy TA on YouTube for MSTR. They spend a fraction of the time I spend. And like I said, I do this for me, not for you guys, to be completely honest. So I'm willing to spend my time and protect my investments and whatnot, and make sure that I'm on the right side of it, and I feel good about this video today. And again, it's working backwards. If the bottom is in, is there a sign? We talked about a previous methodology to say, yes, the bottom could be in. Now let me show you guys this. So in 2024, what is the pattern for these breakouts? We have the green support channel, price actions inside of it. Okay, we essentially established the left side of this channel. We know that the big breakouts take place out of the right side of these white declining channels, okay? And all the big breaks take place off the bottom of a green channel. Well, the Q1 2024, bottom of the green channel, break out of the right side of the white channel, and essentially it ran, if you got in at the bottom of the green channel, it ran 342% in 9 weeks, okay? Then what happens next? It establishes, number one, and it's not as obvious. I'm on the weekly time frame. If I switch this to daily, it's a lot easier to see. It establishes the left side of the next white channel, then you see the 50% line, again, interacting with the 50% line. Again, could have been easy to fake people out and make people think it was a thin white channel. In reality, it was equidistant. And this is the side that it was ultimately going to break out of. Notice also, if you zoom in, it backtests the top of the green channel. Okay. Dare I say, we could be right here in the 2020, I should just call it 2026 version of MSTR, because the breakout's going to be in 2026. You know what I mean? It'll begin in 2025, I think, probably in November. You know what I mean? This is just what the chart's telling me, by the way. You can feel free to disagree, but I'm trying to show you how many clues there are, what is about to take place. Backtest the top of the green channel, guys, and then let's see what just happened over here. Okay, so this secondary, the late 2024 breakout took place from the top of the green channel. It did not take place from the bottom of the green channel. I said it's a rule. It should take place. It should start at the bottom of a green channel. Well, the 2025 green channel that you see right here, guys, what do you notice? It accounts for the second run up in 2024 takes place straight from the bottom. Okay, so we've got that as our expansion angle of this new support structure. And because it's a parallel channel, you just duplicate that, slide it up to the top. And what do you know? If you're willing to say that the bottom could be in this week, that's the top of this green channel. And you know what comes next, guys? The breakout of the right side of this channel. Now, this is a weekly time frame. If I switch it to daily, hopefully you can see, again, how it, number one, kind of told us it perfectly accounts for at the 50% line, the top of the second run-up in 2024. Perfect. I mean, do you believe in coincidences after everything I've shown you? Do you believe in coincidences? You've got the left side, you've got the 50% line, and you guys know what comes next. The right side of this channel. You think it's a coincidence? I covered this in the previous videos that we bounced right there and that we bounced right here. I mean, you got to be a crazy coincidence theorist. I don't think any of this is left up to chance, guys. I think the market maker algorithms are doing a beautiful job keeping us guessing, but I think I spent enough time in these charts that I cracked the code, and time will tell. But I'm just showing you guys, it doesn't matter. Like, and I'm also not doing this for credit. I don't care if you believe me or not. Like, I intend to make a lot of money using what I'm showing you right here. That's really what it boils down to. What comes next? Well, we bounce off the top of this green channel. We then come out the right side of this white channel, and I have a 2026 chart that accounts for, because remember the rule that every breakout has to take place from the bottom of a green channel. Well, this is the 2026 green channel. And what do you know? It perfectly accounts for us being at the bottom if this week is the bottom. Okay. And look how much sense it makes. Look at all the candle wicks, how it all aligns. Look at how we reject off the white channel. And we started this video off with the more like kind of macro takes and made sense of it all right here as well. Again, initially how we arrived that this could be the bottom didn't even factor in everything that I just showed you. It just showed you the angles of expansion approach constantly steepening and telling the story of MSTR as a company really and where it's headed by market cap. So let me know. I mean, I feel like this is really interesting, really cool. If this stuff excites you, I do have my group link below in the description. Here, I'm going to wrap the video up by just showing you. This is a really nice visual way of showing that when the gold bull market ends and goes into a gold bear market, the correlation with Bitcoin bull markets that follow. I know I've talked about this again for like the last 2 videos in a row, if not 3 or 4 videos in a row, but I wanted to share that. And that's from Sminston with, and I'll link to this in the description of this video. Also, another nice feather in the cap, guys. If you believe what I see in the Bitcoin log chart breakout, that this is from Yuri Matzo, showing how similar price action today in 2025 looks on the NASDAQ 100 when you go and compare it to 1995. And that preceded an absolute massive bubble that, you know, we call the .com bubble. And we're just at the beginning stages. Very similar. Again, the algorithms, it's really just, do you believe in coincidences? And if you do, man, life must be real interesting. I'm not a coincidence theorist. I think that there's, you know, it's crazy. The mainstream television programming has a lot of people that I know in my life believing that the higher the stakes, the more random things are. Isn't that crazy? I think the higher the stakes, the less random things are. But I mean, those people probably think I'm crazy. Either way, doesn't matter, does it? All right, here's the Bitcoin log chart. And I just wanted to share, guys, I'll wrap the video with this, right? So everything I just showed you guys, like, oh, wait, this implies there could be a big Bitcoin breakout on the horizon. And my 2026 chart for MSTR implies, oh yeah, things are about to get really crazy, whether it's a double move or whether the initial move is a lot more steep like the 2020, 2021 breakout was. Either way, wouldn't there be clues? Well, I showed you guys, yeah, gold topping and the rotation into Bitcoin and a little bit of a delay. That's one clue. NASDAQ 100 looking like it's about to begin an ascension comparable to something we haven't seen in 25 years. That's another clue. Bitcoin log chart breakout. We've only seen 4 ever in the history of Bitcoin. 2 took place in 2013, where it gained on the first one 1,670% in 13 weeks. On the second Bitcoin log chart breakout, 310%, a 4x in 4 weeks. The third one was in 2017. Bitcoin ran 650% in 29 weeks. The fourth was in 2020, where Bitcoin ran 275%, almost a 4x, in 22 weeks. And here we are knocking on the door of level 5. We've already been above the breakout level 3 times, I believe. And we've rejected off of this one last pesky resistance, which is up around 127K right now. We're a stone's throw away, if you ask me. And again, it shows better if you zoom all the way out on this chart. But again, you're either believing that this time things will be different, or you're the person who thinks you're the smartest person in the room telling everybody that Bitcoin's a scam, that, you know, people believe that at $100 Bitcoin, and then again at $1,000 Bitcoin, and then again at $10,000 Bitcoin, and then again at $100,000 Bitcoin. Wait, Bitcoin's 100K? Yeah, it is. And a multi-trillion-dollar market cap. Oh, yeah. Inconvenient for the people that want to believe it's a scam. Believe whatever you want. Do what you want with your money, guys. But to me, the hints are there, and I'm allowing my brain to work backwards and say, oh yeah, Bitcoin's at 400,000 in 2026, and MSTR is north of $2,000 a share. Were there signs? Bookmark this video. There were. If you're irresponsibly long MSTR like I am, how much would it be worth to you to have somebody who's in the charts daily looking for the perfect entry for shares and options, and eventually looking to see if we might have topped and it's time to take profits? If this is something that interests you, I want to invite you to check out my MSTR generational wealth community linked below.